Alright guys, today I'm going to do a breakdown of New York session trade that I took. Ended up being a crazy risk to reward. I didn't go a single tick into drawdown. It hit my limit and it was basically low of day for New York. 0 point drawdown, 168 points to the upside. Crazy trade. So I'm going to break it down. Now, recently I've been looking at a lot of New York, and I've started to realize that New York session is sort of a catalyst for my moves, for my setups. So Asia session, London session, the reason why I find it better is because price is less volatile. So with less volatility, I feel like it follows my setups more according, like I feel like it's much more smoother. Like you can tell when price is gonna go your way or not. But with New York session, you're tapped in and it's either you're out or you're in. Like you don't really have time to adapt unless you have a lot of market experience and you know how to adjust based off candles. So that's why I feel like Asia and London is the best for beginners because it's like it's like watching a tutorial in slow motion. You really get to take in every word, and you have time to write it down, to analyze, to make judgments, right? But with New York session, it's just quick. It goes like literally start to end very quick. You jump in if you understand what's going on. If you know what's going on, if you understand the concept, you can catch those like words in like the middle. Like let's say you're watching a video about fucking birds, right? And you know a lot about birds, and you're watching a video about this one specific bird that you've studied your whole life. And if you put that video in fast forward, you're gonna hear keywords, and it's gonna ring a bell in your mind. You're gonna be like, okay, I know what this guy's talking about. I understand like the gist of what's going on. But if you have zero knowledge in birds and you're watching that video, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? What's going on? That's why slow motion is the best. That's why Asia and London, in my opinion, Asia is king for most traders, but New York is if you just want to get your move over and done with. Now, we're gonna look at my first trade. So I took a sell position on one of my Lucids. On this, I don't copy trade Lucids. I feel like it's less stress on me. So yeah, one of my accounts I shorted was a lucky exit actually. I don't know what the fuck happened. Yeah, but price dumped. Then we had this sort of trendline liquidity to the upside. Now here's what I saw. Okay, so price dumped here. We built all this trendline liquidity, and we had an impulse move to the downside. Now what did we do? We had this impulse move to the downside, and we've sort of respected this level, creating a higher low. So price, in my eyes, well, not only in my eyes, based off judgment and knowledge in market, I saw that price wanted to continue higher. Now we can see we created this high low. We had an impulse move to the upside. We actually grabbed a 5-minute point of interest here, and we had a very strong reaction. We're like, okay, price has managed to make that strong move to the upside, but we've rejected off this 5-minute point of interest. Fair enough. Now we start trending, building up trendline liquidity, and then we start to make our way down. Now I always say this. I say these two things: never marry bias. Okay, and there is a difference between trending price action or bearish or bullish price action. Now, this is not bearish price action. This is trending. You can see very slow move to the downside, wicks, a lot of wicks being made. And then we created the high low here. So my whole idea here was, okay, we've created this low, created the high low, done all this price action, all these little things. I was like, okay, price is looking for something to bounce off of. We are going to continue higher, okay? Now, also looking at the high time frame, we can see that price it's not trending to the downside. We aren't showing strong bearish momentum. Now we had this correction down after the big impulse move sort of last night, and we've managed to hold this level and slowly make our way back up, and we swept that trendline liquidity, created a higher low. We made a wick. Now on the 15-minute, what I see a lot of the times is we have a wick and then a higher low wick. So two strong wicks and then the move to the upside. Okay, or we have this. This is very, very, very strong. Very strong. So we have a wick, then our next candle creates another wick here. But what we do on the third candle is we sweep the middle wick, but we create a higher low. It's basically saying it's like a slingshot. It gets pulled back, not all the way to the point where it breaks, but pulled back enough to the point where it gets to have that strong move to the upside. Okay? So, first entry was basically off a point of interest that we created off this impulse candle. So I saw we had a 1 minute and a 100 tick time frame point of interest, and it was a bottom tick, to be honest. These point of interest, man, do crazy work. So point of interest here, I ended up, I did a market entry. I don't know what the fuck I did. I sort of fucked it up here. So I did a market entry. Whoa, voice crack. Did a market entry. Um, got my entry here. It was a pretty solid entry, to be honest. Basically low of like London or whatever you call this. And then I started to drag my stop loss up pretty much for no reason at all. And as you can see, it got stopped out. The move happened. So this was first trade of the day, a bottom tick, literally no drawdown for 140 points. Would have been a crazy move. What I also need to start working on is setting my stop loss and just letting my trade breathe. Set and forget. Just set your trade and honestly move on with your day. Set your trade. This is what I'm going to start doing. And I recommend other traders start doing this as well. Set your limit. Let's say you get tagged in. Set your stop loss. Put a timer on your phone for 30 minutes and just go. Just go and come back later. Worst case scenario, you hit your stop loss. Best case scenario, you hit TP. Now, what's a stop loss? That's normal. You're literally going to hit stop loss a lot of the times. Like, it's completely normal. It's part of trading. Losing it's a risk. And if you try to run away from the whole notion of risk within trading, you've already lost. If you can't accept the fact that there is risk involved, then you've lost. Okay? So I need to start working on that. I'm going to start doing that actually. So yeah, I saw price sort of did that thing. I kind of had FOMO, but I was like, you know what, I'll wait. We built up a lot of trendline liquidity, and then price started shifting to the downside. Now, I had my first entry at this point of interest here, and we got tapped in, and I got pretty, I wouldn't say greedy, it was only 10 points stop loss, basically normal. But I basically risked half of these profits that I made for this stop loss. And then I was like, okay, let me lock the fuck in. What is going on with the price? Okay. Now, I saw that price had a crazy move to the upside. We created this low. We respected it. We built internal liquidity here. Now, I was like, okay, if price is able to have this impulse move to the upside and we're getting this correction, then I'm going to look for where price is likely going to tap into for the move to happen. Now, what do I always say? Internal liquidity, point of interest, high or low. Now, what we had here was price basically dumping like crazy. And I quickly looked here. I remember when I hit stop loss, I was like, okay, let me lock in. Like, let's see what's happening on the left side. I look here. I'm looking around, and then what do I see? A very beautiful 100 tick point of interest laying below all that internal liquidity. And the good thing about this is if we tap into it, it's basically my exact structure, my plan. Internal liquidity swept, point of interest tapped, and we get our higher low for the trade. Okay. Now, what do? We wick that shit to the literal decimal. Like the decimal. Wick that shit, filled me in perfectly. You can literally see my number for the fill 79825. That's 79825. And then we just rip. Rips straight to TP. 65-point move. And yeah, it was very simple. It's all about adjusting to price action. So it could have been a literal like 1 to, I risked like 10 points max. So that's a 1 to 15, 1 to 17. This was also like a 1 to 15. Yeah, look, I'm gonna keep this very simple. The market is easy if you make it easy. Have a very strict plan. Have a very specific plan. Meticulously plan every single thing, like every decision. Okay. When you come into the markets, do not marry a bias. Like people would have seen this, they're gonna be like, okay, shit, like we're shorting heavy, like let's short. No. Okay. Don't look at what price is doing. Like, don't look at the trend. Don't look at what price is doing a couple candles before, or don't look at that heavy selling volume and panic. No. Look at what's going on in the moment. Now, what I also recommend heavily to many people trading is, let's say you enter longs. You need to look at the market with zero bias. You need to look at the market as if you are not in a trade at that exact moment. Now, what that does is that allows for a clear thought process. You need to be like, okay, if I'm in, like, let's say I entered longs here and I see, oh shit, like there's an exact setup for me for shorts that I usually take. What am I gonna do? I'm not gonna be like, fuck, but I'm in longs, like I'm putting all my chips on longs. No, exit. Worst case scenario, it keeps going the long way. Best case scenario, you saved profits. This will be the last thing I say in this video. The brain is very heavily wired. Think of your brain as a computer, a code, okay? Now, what you teach your brain to do is something that it's basically embedding a code into your system. And it's very, very, very hard to rewire your brain. That's why building good habits from the beginning allows for a very healthy sort of journey, right? Look, if you take a winning trade, but you don't follow your rules, you teach your brain that it's okay to not follow your rules, because the outcome of winning releases the emotions of happiness, of relief, right? Of satisfaction. So your brain has now linked not following your rules to the happiness that comes from it if you win, right? So now that code is green light. So now your brain, when it sees a trade, it doesn't follow your rules, but you really want to enter because you want to make money. Your brain's basically, it's showing that green light. It's like, you know what, go for it. Because there's a chance you could win and there's a chance you could be happy, right? But trading isn't something you do one day. It's a long game, man. You gotta have a system. You gotta follow it. Because yeah, you could win if you don't follow your rules. You might win a trade here, win a trade there, but in the long run, you'll lose. You will lose. Okay? You have to stick to your system. No matter how you feel, you must be emotionless, be cold, right? You can't give all your energy to something. You can't put all your focus, all your attention to it, right? You have to be completely detached. So I'm dropping my first video for my bootcamp. I'm editing it as we speak. To be honest, I've had a lot of things happen recently in my life, and it's kind of put a hold to the video, but I really want to get it out because it is so good. Genuinely, it has so much valuable information, and it is gonna help so many people, and I already know it. So I can't wait to drop it. I promise I'll drop it like ASAP. And any questions, just comment it. I know I yap a lot, but it's for the sake of helping others, you know? So yeah, thanks for watching, and we will grow from here.